Hello traders, welcome once again. All right, so these are weekly focus on crypto and forex pairs, guys. All right, so as we dive into the market, we're using daily charts on all pairs. So this is gold, almighty gold. You can see that gold is very bullish and is breaking the all-time high, as usual. All right, so what are we expecting this week, guys? You see that the market make an impulse correction. All this becomes one impulse. So for us, this is very bullish. You don't need to touch the die here. So it might keep pushing high here, but along this line, there will be a correction, guys, that will complete this. So after this spike here, there will be a correction. So it's either you, for daily charts, you just need to be patient enough to wait for this correction before we take this buy again. Okay, but for scalpers, you can just be taking few pips, as the market is breaking the all-time high. This is a time for if you understand the power of breakout momentum, especially on gold. When the market closes bullishly above the resistance, you can just take the buy and get to the next resistance and liquidate your buys. Okay, so this is a very indication for that. So just follow it here as the market will keep pushing high in a smaller time frame. You'll be taking buys and all that. So, but this we're gonna break here and then drop, then go up at least before the market will start reversing. So gold is very bullish. If you guys not taking, it's going to get to 4,000 within a few months. All right, so let's take a look on the BTC. So on the BTC, guys, what do you see? The market is actually bearish. Okay, so despite the spike and all that, we're still expecting the market to drop. So at this point, what we see now, this market has given us this impulse, okay, correction here and drop. So what we expected, the market coming up here and drop again. So this is something like this we're expecting. So you need to follow this market here, okay, in a smaller time frame. This would be a valid trend. As the market is keep breaking this trend, that would be a very good sell for us. Okay, so this is what we are waiting for this week. Once the market completes what it's going to do here, then we're going to take this sell downwards. The Aussie. All right, so these are also an interesting one. Here we are expecting the market to keep pushing high. Okay, so because we have this impulse, we have this sluggish three-wave correction, so expect something like this before it's going to drop. So we are looking for a valid buy. Once you see that buy recognized here, we're taking that buy at least to this resistance before the market drops. Likewise here, we're expecting this market to keep pushing high because you see this is an impulse, this is a correction, sluggish move. So we're quoting this to be a kind of an expanding flat for this market to keep pushing high to break this high. Okay, so that's what we're expecting. All right, so even though the market has reversed here, so any buy setup you see here in a lower time frame, that will be a valid buy for this market to keep pushing high like this. USD. Also here, we're expecting the market to keep pushing high, all because we have seen a valid three-wave move here, and because this is an impulse correction impulse. So if you want to be conservative, watch out for this counter trend here. This counter trend here is going to be, so once the market breaks this counter trend, then the market is going to keep pushing high. I'm expecting this to break this high again before it's going to drop. So this is what we're expecting. This as it pushes high, it drop, then from here can push high again. So watch out for this kind of move. The New Zealand. Okay, so this is a beautiful one. We anticipated this last time that this market is going to drop, and eventually it did that. So what we can see here, this is an impulse on its own. This is a correction and impulse. Okay, so if you take a look from what is happening, we have this impulse has been standing here. Okay, so what you can see, by the time it completes this, I expect the market to keep pushing high. Okay, so that becomes an impulse, a correction, and impulse. So watch out for this kind of move. So here we are waiting for the buy setup. Okay, so once we see any buy setup at this point, remember this is a daily chart, so it can take like 3, 4, 5 days for you to see that buy setup. So patience is highly required here, especially when you're looking at the daily chart. Euro yen. Okay, Euro yen actually has broken the high. So at this point, we are expecting the market to drop. At least we're expecting a very sharp drop because we are seeing an impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse. Okay, so here we'll be expecting the market to drop at least to this point before it starts giving us other patterns. Okay, so because of the way this market stretches itself, anyway, anytime there is a squeeze, there will be an expansion. Anytime there's a squeeze, there will be an expansion. So there's a squeeze here, so we're expecting the expansion to play out before the next move. So watch out for something like this on the euro yen. The pound yen. All right, the same thing applies here, guys. Okay, so we have this squeeze move here, impulse correction, squeeze move. So expect this before it goes up. So this is what we're expecting. So any sell setup here, we'll be taking it in a lower time frame. So dollar yen also is a very valid one. So what we can see here is a setup that we have seen many a times. So you see that this is an impulse, a correction, and impulse. So that's a valid complete structure. So we have this a kind of squeeze. So an expansion has happened. So for us, we are saying that this will be an expansion. So after which the market is going to drop. So we are saying that to be an expansion, then the market is going to drop. And if this drop start happening, it's going to break this low. Okay, so from there, it's keep pushing high. So I'm waiting for, once you see a sell setup in the lower time frame, that will be your trade. CAD. All right, so CAD also, all of them are pointing downwards, okay, because they are kind of correlated. I've seen that this move is over. We have this move here. So watch out for this, and the market is going to drop. So that's what we are waiting for. CAD. Pound Audi. So this is another interesting one. The way it's moving here, watch out for this. The market has given us impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse. So here, once it completes, we're expecting an expansion. Then from there, the market drops. So watch out for that expansion like this. So this is what we're waiting for. After this expansion is going to be a very good trade. Then after which the markets drop. Pound Swiss. Okay, Pound Swiss also is an interesting one. The market has actually broken here. So if you see any buy setup that you look up, guys, it's going to take this trade to this point, after which the market is going to drop again, or to this point. So it depends on what is playing and what we are watching at for that buy setup at this point. Dollar card. Okay, so dollar card also is an interesting one. Last week we saw this happening because the market gave us this impulse correction impulse, so irregular flats. After this squeeze here, it drops here. We thought this is going to go, but it came down again, confirmed it. So this is a complete structure because we have this impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse. So from this point, if you see any sell setup, we're going to take that trade. Any sell setup at this point is going to take the trade because we don't know whether this trade is going to break this whole move here or come down deeply here to reverse. But that sell setup is going to be a very massive one. So watch out for that sell setup. Anytime it plays out, you're going to take it. Okay, so today's class, the last but not the least, Euro New Zealand. Okay, so here we have this massive move. So I think this is already completed. We have this impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse. So this move is completed at this point. So watch out for this sell. The sell is coming before the next move completes. So this is what we can look at for the week. All right, so remember what is happening on BTC. And if you take a look on one or two pairs, let's take a look on Ripple in the crypto space. Okay, so here we have this also happening in Ripple here. We have this move, sluggish move here, completion. So the market is actually building a contracting triangle here. So what I would expect this market to do here, let it spike up and drop. Okay, something like this. We're expecting the market to spike and then drop on the Ripple. Because at this time, anything that happens to Bitcoin definitely will severely affect other pairs. That's why we focus more on BTC at this point. So if you take a look on any other one, let's just take a look on the Solana. Okay, on the Solana, guys, what do we see here? See, the market actually, this is an impulse correction. Okay, impulse correction, impulse. So if you follow this trend here. So what you can see, this market actually has broken this structure. So watch out for this. The market comes up here and drop. So this is all we can see because I see this is standing already. This market has actually broken this structure. So all this is a correction of these moves. Then after which the market is going to drop again. All right, guys. So see you once again in the next episode. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe and like this video. See you.